What's going on, guys? Zuko back with another War Within video. Hope you're all doing very well. I am full purple hair. If you missed the Twitch stream, my birthday stream a couple days ago, we got a huge sub goal that I was hoping to get, and so I dyed my hair purple. It's going to be a lot of fun. You're going to see purple Zuko for a long time now. I want to talk about the PTR, and I want to talk about an article that was written by Hawk Corange, who is the Elemental Shaman guy on Wowhead, I guess, who's writing articles. He did a great article here, and I'm going to talk about this, and I'm going to talk about some of the build possibilities, I guess, for Ele Shaman. I've already covered Aftershock, and then we're going to, you know, I sort of a whole build that might work with the Aftershock talent for Ele Shaman. I want to look at Surge of Power and Ascendance as a big cooldown and cover what I think is more likely to be the standard build that people are going to continue to play and why it's so strong. But this article, first of all, was really, really good. He talked about like where Elemental Shaman has been and how kind of like all over the place it was with the elements, and then how it also in Dragonflight became all about Lava Burst, right? How we were just casting Lava Burst in AoE situations over and over and over again to try and trigger Deeply Rooted, and how that's kind of a degenerate playstyle as well. And then how now in the War Within, we've got a new degenerate sort of Elemental Shaman playstyle. Even though we got a really good rework on the talent tree, the new sort of degenerate playstyle stems from Flash of Lightning, which has become a problem where, because Chain Lightning and Lightning Bolt in particular cool down all the rest of our abilities, it has become an issue where you're just spamming Lightning Bolt over and over and over and over again, and that's a problem. And so they have changed that going forward in 11.0.5, which again is coming in like a week and a half. A lot of people are very mad that the Flash of Lightning change is gone, but he talks in this article about how it's actually a good thing, and I think he's totally right about that. And I'm going to talk to you about the rest of it. So here's his summary. If we were to, here's what needs to still happen because of the changes that are happening in 11.0.5. This is his summary of what he thinks should still happen. Buff defensives slightly to compensate for the fact that Flash of Lightning is not reducing the cooldown on our defensives anymore. Adjust Erupting Lava to slightly not eat up an entire Flame Shock instantly. And he's talking about this combo right here where you go Primordial Wave into Ascendance and you're going to get multiple Lava Burst procs guaranteed because the new Ascendance gives you guaranteed overloads. And those overload lava bursts will consume flame shocks with erupting lava. I would also add here that erupting lava does basically no damage. You're specking into something in the bottom of the spec tree. It's in that last, zone. It should be powerful, and it's not, in my opinion. I've tried it on single target, and it's just kind of dog water, in my opinion. Buff Fire Elemental or change its functionality, because Fire Elemental is useless now, basically because Storm Elemental gives you flat stacking haste, up to 16% more haste, rather than giving you Lightning Bolt and Chain Lightning cast speed. It gives you stacking, at least just flat haste, which is insanely good. So Fire Elemental, it has been pushed even further away from being good, in my opinion. And along with Fire Elemental being pushed out, Farseer has been pushed out because of the Flash of Lightning changes, because the cooldown reduction that Flash of Lightning gave to Primordial Wave and Ancestral Swiftness is gone. That was a massive part of what's going on there, and so Farseer is kind of out to lunch. Finally, Deeply Rooted proc rates are still only 7%, and it should be adjusted, in my opinion. What he basically says in the article is that if you take Elemental Blast, I think you should have a higher chance to proc Deeply Rooted, because Elemental Blast costs way more Maelstrom, like almost double, right? So I agree with him on all those points, and I think his article is really good. You should go read it on Wowhead, okay? Having said all that, here's a build that I think could potentially work again, and not with Farseer. I was just messing with Farseer. It's just so bad. It's really unfortunate. Here's a build that I think we could transition into in a very real way, and that it's going to be powerful. So I'm looking at primarily Mythic Plus here, but I'm going to show you a single target rotation. So obviously having Liquid Magma Totem in like a raid scenario, that's not going to happen, right? These talents would change a little bit depending on the scenario. I'm basically giving you a Mythic Plus build here, and I'm going to show you what it looks like on bosses and on AoE, okay? So what's happening here? Well, we have Surge of Power. Surge of Power has had the added functionality of now having Tempest be included, which is insanely strong. So look at the Lightning Bolt line now. Lightning Bolt or Tempest your next cast will cause 2 additional overloads. This is crazy. So when you're inside Ascendance, you're guaranteed to get another overload, wink wink, and all your overloads do more damage. So inside your Ascendance window, you're gonna, every time you press Tempest after using a spender, you're gonna have 3 Tempests go off instead of 1, which is like completely bonkers in my opinion. Actually, you're gonna have 4 go off. I'm sorry, you're gonna have 4. You'll have the initial Tempest, then you'll have 2 overloads from the Surge of Power, then you'll have a 3rd overload from Ascendance, and then you might just get a natural overload. So you're gonna have 3 overloads on 1 Tempest. You might get another one. You could just get an absolutely outrageous number of Tempests. So from a single target perspective, especially, I think this is really strong and is going to be definitely the go-to combo. Ascendance is a really cool cooldown now. We're going to try it with Preeminence, where we get a bunch of haste, and I think that's kind of a cool idea. We'll also use Bloodlust just to make sure we get things going, and I'm going to show you the damage right now. Well, let me get Storm Element back. Yeah, I was trying things with Fire Elemental as well. I'm going to keep experimenting, guys, but for now, I promise you, just trust me that Fire Elemental's kind of dead, okay? And I think Farseer's kind of dead. Unless they make some changes in the next week, or the next, I guess, 2 weeks, those talents are effectively dead. They just don't do enough. They don't add enough oomph to Flame Shock in particular to make it strong enough to kind of work. So we're going to get rid of Erupting Lava. We'll just go with Primal Elementals. I think you could go with Deeply Rooted, but I don't think it's necessarily worth it right now. I've also been experimenting with Deeply Rooted. We'll have to see. Okay, here's a single target breakdown just for fun. We're going to try all this. Generally speaking, it's going to look something like this. You're going to start with Primordial Wave. I would get Stormkeeper and Storm Elemental going right away. And then remember, whenever you cast Lightning Bolt, Tempest, or Chain Lightning, you're going to increase your haste by 4%, stacking 4 times. So we're going to do Primordial Wave, Stormkeeper, get the haste buff going, and then we'll get our Storm Elemental out and get our extra haste buff going. And then we'll go into Ascendance, and we'll get our overloads going as well. Okay, make sure we get up to our first spender. Whenever you use a spender, your Lightning Bolt or Tempest are going to overload 2 additional times. This is going to be really crazy. Okay, here we go. So we'll go Stormkeeper here, and we'll just put this down. Primordial Wave. We get a Lava Surge proc, which is nice. Okay, and then we're going to go Ellie, and we'll go Ascendance. Okay, and then we'll do a spender into Lightning Bolt. We get so many overloads right there. It's crazy. We're still going to spam Lightning Bolt here. Okay. Earth Shock, Lightning Bolt. Hopefully we get an Ascendance proc or a Tempest, but we probably won't. That would kind of suck. Oh well, it is what it is. Oh, there's one. Boom. That Tempest just went off like 3 times right there. Okay, that's how that works. So again, there could be cause for you holding on to your Ascendance until the proper moment. And I think that's absolutely what you're going to be doing now, because Ascendance is either going to be a 3-minute cooldown or a 2-minute cooldown, depending on what you do. And I forgot to press Bloodlust. I realize that now. We'll do it. We'll do it on the AoE poll. Don't worry. You're basically like you're gonna want to use Ascendance at the right time. Here's an Earth Shock into Ascendance. It just overloaded twice right there. Do you see that? Like every time you get an Earth Shock into a Tempest, sorry, is what I meant to say. Earth Shock into Tempest is a very powerful combo now, and because you have real cooldowns now, it's kind of scary. I'm gonna bank. Watch this. Okay, you want to get to your next spender, then use Tempest. It's never been more important with Surge of Power to get enough Maelstrom up to use a spender and then use your Tempest proc. So that might be a slight change from what you're used to, and that's just the way it's going to be. If you do not use your Tempest in that way, you're missing out on so much damage. You must use here we go. Spender into Tempest. Watch this. Boom. Boom, boom, boom. It hits multiple times. Mega overloads there, right? Guys, remember my gear and stuff. I'm 606 item level. My haste and crit are really, really bad. Please don't get it twisted. Like, this is not how it's going to be. I'm going to put this down just to get Maelstrom. Oh, man, we're so close. I should just generate Maelstrom here for my Tempest. This is probably not what you want to do, but anyway. Now we go Earth Shock into Tempest, and we get the triple overload. You want to try and game that as much as possible. What I just did right there is probably not ideal, but what you want to try and do is game it so that every single time you're using a spender, if you have Tempest available, that's how you want to do that combo. Spender into Tempest, because it's going to overload multiple different times. Okay? Again, don't worry about the damage, please. The damage is, I'm 606 item level with Omega bad stats. I didn't use Bloodlust there. Like, just ignore the damage. We're trying to talk about like the playstyle, how it feels, how it looks, and it does look really good. Your Tempest Overload is going to end up becoming one of your highest damaging abilities over time, in my opinion, because Tempest Overload, you get so many additional overloads in single target, right? Because of the way Surge of Power works now. Lightning Bolt or Tempest will overload 2 additional times. So you get a ton of extra overload damage there, which is really, really good, okay? That's kind of a single target breakdown. Your playstyle is going to be adjusted a little bit because you need to make sure every time you have Tempest available that you're doing Earthshock into Tempest to get the extra 2 procs. That is really, really important. But generally speaking, the playstyle has not changed. You're going to be getting a free, every time you use Primordial Wave, you get a surge of a Lava Surge proc, which is guaranteed, which is very cool. That's very nice. Also, from a resource generation perspective, your Primordial Wave gives you 3 Maelstrom now. Your Liquid Magma Totem gives you 8 Maelstrom now, which is actually not insignificant. Even on single target, probably not in raid, but on Mythic Plus bosses, you're going to want to use this thing, I would say, just to generate Maelstrom in case you have a Tempest ready to go, so you can get to your next Earthshock into a Tempest, right? That whole combo. So that's kind of cool. They added Maelstrom generation to a bunch of different things, which is really nice, okay? That's that build there. Let me look at the AoE damage here. And I'll kind of show you how it works. Again, this is not going to matter right now. Surge of Power is going to be irrelevant on AoE right now because I only have 5 targets. The main thing you're pressing is Chain Lightning, right? Your next cast will chain to 1 additional target. However, once again, if you have Tempest available, you should go Earthquake into Tempest because you'll get 2 additional overloads, and that's crazy good AoE damage. So a little bit of thought. You're going to have to think a little bit now, a little bit more brain power about the procs that you're getting. If you get a Tempest proc, you need to try and make sure you press Earthquake before you press Tempest because of that Surge of Power interaction, which is very, very strong. Okay, here we go. We're going to go Stormkeeper, Ellie, and then we're going to get our Liquid Magma Totem and Primordial Wave going. Okay, we'll go like this, and then we go Lava Burst into Ellie. We'll go Earthquake into Chain Lightning. We'll go Chain Lightning again. We'll go Earthquake into Chain Lightning. And then remember, we're basically just doing the same thing. We're going to go Ascendance here. Now we have big overloads. I'm hoping for a Tempest proc here. Okay, there's Tempest there. Earthquake into Tempest. Watch this. Boom, boom, boom. It hits so many extra times. Another Earthquake into a Tempest. Boom. Inside of Ascendance, you're so powerful. You get so many additional procs. We're going to go Earthquake into Tempest here, and there, we're gone. But again, that cooldown now is really, really strong. And I'm guessing you're going to want to be careful when you use it, okay? Like, you can't just use Ascendance or... really, I guess Ascendance is the only thing, but you can't just use Ascendance willy-nilly now. If you take Deeply Rooted, it's going to be a little bit more natural where you're getting like that, you're getting procs all the time, so it doesn't really matter as much. But generally speaking, guys, you're going to need to be very, very careful about your cooldown usage now compared to how it's been in the past. And I would say, you know, just get ready for that because that could be a big adjustment for you. Earthquake, Lightning, Chain Lightning. Here we go. We're going to go Earthquake. We're looking for Tempest. Remember, if we get Tempest, then we're going to always press Earthquake into Tempest. Earthquake, here's Tempest. Here we go. This is going to be big damage. Boom. You can see our damage just spikes. Our damage spikes really, really hard because of that Surge of Power interaction. I really, really like that. I'll show you that one more time. Also, we are cooling down Stormkeeper, which I think is really, really cool. Okay, here we go. Earthquake, watch our damage. 1.86 million, 1.85 million. Boom. Goes up to 1.9 million almost there. And we'll go back in our Primary Wave. So the rotation hasn't changed too much, except that you're looking for Tempest now. That's it. You're looking for Tempest, and you want to be really careful about making sure that you go Earthquake into Tempest, or make sure that you go, if you're in single target, of course, make sure that you go Earthshock into Tempest. That is really, really important, okay? Okay, we go Earthquake, Tempest, and then we're done. Big damage here. Boom. Okay? So... here we go. Tempest Overload. Like I said before, Tempest Overload becomes a much bigger part of your damage because you're able to get so many overloads off with Surge of Power, which is really, really cool. Tempest in general has now become almost 16% of our damage, which is awesome. That's above Earthquake now. Very, very cool. Lightning Rod's doing big damage as well because, of course, the Lightning Rod talents that we're taking in the bottom left, and they interact really well with Lightning Rod talent on the hero tree, all that kind of stuff. Okay, so I do think Surge of Power is going to offer you probably better AoE and single target damage versus Aftershock. Again, I need to do some more testing on this, but I think that Aftershock with Deeply Rooted could be something that's really special, and I'm going to keep messing around with that. Deeply Rooted in general could be kind of good. Again, as he said in the article, the proc rate is horrendous. It's really, really bad. 7% is like criminal because it takes so long for us to build Maelstrom to get to our next spender that it's just kind of wasted. It's really actually really bad. So I'll keep working on builds here, but I just wanted to show you this new Surge of Power interaction, and I wanted to make sure I talked about the article because I think he's bang on about all of his observations that generally speaking, the direction they're going with Elemental Shaman is good. Ascendance being a good cooldown is good for the game. Whether or not you take it as a 2-minute cooldown or get the haste bonus, I don't really know. But either way, Ascendance being a good cooldown that works with our mastery is amazing direction for Ele Shaman to go. It just really sucks that we lost the cooldown reduction on Flash of Lightning. We got some of the cooldown reduction back on Stormkeeper because of Herald of the Storms, but in reality, there are problems with this tree. Flash of Lightning should still have some sort of cooldown reduction for something in our kit. Not everything, but something. Fire Elemental is literally dead on the water, and Farseer is dead now because the cooldown reduction is gone. The rest of it is okay. It's actually okay. I think moving forward, Ele Shaman will be fine. It's just going to be a massive adjustment for people. And again, the mental adjustment with Surge of Power in single target and AoE to make sure you're spending it on Tempest whenever it procs is a great little synergy to have, but you're going to have to get used to that, okay? Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Are you worried about Ele Shaman? Are you scared? Are you interested in new builds potentially for Ele Shaman? I would love to hear anything that you have to say in the comments down below. Thank you so much again for watching. I love you guys. I'll see you in the next one.